Hey, what's up? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. I'm making this video. We're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about what's going on with the stock market. I lost another $6,000 today. I mean, just imagine you pop open your phone and you look at your money that you had and you lose $6,000 like that, like nothing. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. A lot of people, they probably are running scared. There's a lot of people that are like, what am I going to do? What's going to happen with my money? If people have their money in a 401k, they're probably afraid of what's going on right now. Let me do something to reassure you. This is where my experience comes into play. And other financial people who are probably, I'm not saying that an older person knows more than a younger person. What an older person, and I'm only 53 years old, so I haven't seen everything, obviously. But I'll just say it like my grandmother, my granny. I'm gonna show her respect. My granny is my granny. She grew up. She died in her 60s, but her parents, and we're talking about way back in the 1800s, and then they passed it on to her. And she died in her 60s in, I think, 1985. So that you put that some years back from 1985, so you could see that was at a time that it wasn't too favorable for us black folks at that time. Her parents bought property, real estate. It was 2 duplexes, and then there was 4 houses in back. They passed it on to her. She kept it. She did not sell it, until she got older, and she sold it about 4 or 5 years before she died. Sold it to the city of Dallas for over like $700,000. And you're talking about money, $700,000 in today's money is in the millions from I think it was 82 or 83, somewhere around there. She gave all of us grandchildren, I think at that time it was like
returning visitor,
20 of us, $2,500, and gave all of my aunts and my one uncle, which is 7 of them, and my mom, $25,000. And then everybody blew the money except for me. I invested my money, even though I was only 15 years old. I bought my first real estate course with that money. But what I want to say, there was a lot of up and down times at that time. And then even with me being in business right now, there's a lot of up and down times. And I've seen there was a 1990 recession, 2000 recession, 2008 recession. And now we have the 2022, which is going to be a recession. So I've seen 4 recessions. Something that was in common with all of them. And if you include what happened with my granny, is that stuff went down. Real estate always kept its value, or it went up in value, but everything went back up. And one of the most common things that a lot of people said, and even I said to myself from what happened in 2008, because I wasn't in the same financial situation that I am when it happened definitely in 1992 when it happened, or 1991 under the first George Bush. I definitely wasn't in that situation. I was growing, getting my business going. In 2000, I missed that one when we had the .com recession, because I had just got myself out of debt from what I had messed up in the 1990s. But in 2008, I was solidly ready. And what we had did is we took our money out of the market and we put it in real estate. And yes, we did good flipping, but I should have kept money in good companies in the market, because it would have been millions of dollars if I would have just kept it there. So that's the lesson. The lesson is, if you have the resources, you should do more investing now in the market. Stuff is low, but you got to watch out and do it in good companies. Because right now, everything that's happening is because of inflation, which inflation, we've had this a higher number of inflation than this number. And we have more opportunities now than we had back then. And people are earning more money now than it was back then. And you might be saying, well, you can buy less with the money we got now. Our money is worth less. Well, at that time, the money was worth less than it was before that time. So don't get conned and fooled by people when they throw that out there. No matter what, tomorrow the money's going to be worth less. No matter what, the next day, the next year, whatever, it's going to be worth less than what it was, you know, from what it is today. Even the money you have right now is going to be worth less down the road. So you might as well get used to that no matter what you do. Don't try to run to something like Bitcoin and all that stuff. All of that stuff is scrambling right now too. Don't get fooled by these people that'll get out there and start telling you to go get cash value policies and let them roll up for a year, and then you can go and get money on that. Where do you think they put the money for the cash value policies, these whole life policies that they come up with? Where do you think they put the money? They invested in the market. The market is down right now. When you go to try to get your money, what's going to happen? Don't get fooled by that stuff. Don't get fooled by that stuff. That stuff will tear you apart. What you should do is, number one, you save money. I don't care what anybody says until this happens, when I can throw $1, $10, $20, $100, a stack of money, put it outside on the concrete and nobody pick it up. When that day happens, that's when money is not worth anything. Other than that, it's just words that people say. I don't care what you're doing right now. Take a stack of cash, go to your mortgage company, go to your bank, go to your local store, anywhere. Who's not going to take it? Who is not going to take it? Exactly. Every one of them is going to take that worthless money. So don't be fooled by that. What you should do, if you want to really beat inflation, there's really only one way to beat inflation, and that is to figure out how to make income without putting yourself at on a hourly type wage income. So if you're making money one way, working, you have to figure out a solution to where you're earning money without having to do the time to make that money. Because no matter what, no matter how much money you make, I've seen this. I've seen employees with my own company, starting out like 30, 40,000, make it all the way up to 70, $80,000, and still had the same problems where they don't have money. Because more money does not equal that you're not going to have any money problems. What happens is you have to learn how to manage the amount of money that you have right now. If you learn how to manage the amount of money you have right now, then you're going to be able to handle any amount of money that you have in the future. I had to learn that. You're going to have to learn that. Anyone that makes money and has money has to learn that, because you could see people who won the lottery, they lose it. You can see people who are in sports, they lose it. You can see even people who come into money from business, where maybe an idea worked and then all of a sudden they, stopped working their business and they just had the money and they lose all of their money. So money is not going to solve it. It's what you do with the money. But be very careful. So, and what really inspired me to make this video is came across on YouTube, and somehow this couple talking about cash value insurance policies. They're talking about the problem is right now, if you invest your money in the market, you're not going to get anything. And if you put your money in the bank, you're not going to get anything. Yeah, that's true right now. But what they're not telling you is that you're buying into companies for cheap. The same thing that the whole life policy people are going to do with your money, you're going to be able to do it with your money. And I'm pretty sure if you just follow a simple strategy, which is don't deal with no penny stock or no BS type companies. Deal with solid companies. Look at what they've done in the past, and if you read it and it says that a good way to know if you should just invest in a company is, number one, if they're solid, if they're into today's economy, don't do like Sears or something. And then when you look at their what's going on with why their stock is going down, if they have good revenues and all that stuff, and it's basically just because they're just getting the repercussions of the market, repercussions of the interest rate increases, you know that that's going to bounce back. It's going to bounce back huge. And then even if you had this thought process, which I kind of have this process that the stock market is kind of fixed, and what they do is they pull out the money, and a lot of people lose in the middle, and then all of a sudden they put their money back in, and then a lot of people start throwing money in, and it jumps right back up. Right now is where they want people to run, because if you run and you sell it, they got the money. If you sell it, they got the money. But if you hold, if you just sit there and you're sweating, but you're saying, I'm going to hold my cards. I'm not going to make that move, because number one, if you don't need the money, why make the move? If it's solid companies, why make the moves? I'm not talking about any companies that are not solid companies. So this couple was talking about, get these cash value insurance policies. Number one, if you get a cash value insurance policy, you can't even do nothing for a year. What if the market is still down? I think that this is going to last at least 2 years for us to come out of this. The other thing is they invest your cash value insurance policy in the market. If the market is down, what do you think is going to happen with your cash value policy? You just wasted time that you could have been able to buy in on stocks at a lower price. Just because you get that, when they buy in on that and they have that huge increase, you're only going to be promised a certain increase on your cash value. Another problem is that you can actually lose. Something that they don't tell people, and I know this for a fact because I had a business associate of mine. He bought one of these policies. They had promised, he bought it because he said, I just want to have guaranteed income. When we did the numbers and sat down with his rep and called the company, it wasn't going to be guaranteed income. It was actually going to be lower income than he had even thought it was going to be. The next thing is that they take out fees if you take out any money early, and then they say, well, you don't have to take out money early, you can take a loan against it. Well, isn't that going against the whole idea? Because now you're going to pay interest on that money, and if the market is down, you're going to be earning less interest on your whole life cash policy. So you can end up owing money in the end when you do that. What most people end up doing with these cash policies, they end up giving them back to the company, and they just made off with your money. One of my employees, his father paid on one of these policies for 20 years. At the end of 20 years, guess what he got? He got nothing. And then I just stated, if you get a loan, you're going to lose because you're going to end up paying interest on that loan. And then if it doesn't perform and beat the interest rate that you're paying on that loan that you got, you're going to lose. And then what are you going to do with the loan that you got? See, they're setting people up for failure. You may not be ready to take that money and then go start a business with that money, because then what if it doesn't work out? It's gonna fail. For this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a special link below this video, and it's going to talk. It's going to take you to a landing page for my other company that I have. If you are looking to start a business and you want advice, you want to know how to generate leads, you want to know how to generate sales, maybe you need a website and stuff like that, I own a company that can actually help you with that. And you've seen me on here. You know that I know how to generate leads and sales for business. I'm very good at that, and I want to help lead you in that way. Like, I'm gonna not BS you. If you're looking at trying to earn extra income, it doesn't matter what business you do, as long as it's a legitimate business. I'm not one of these that say you got to do this one or that one. Now, there are businesses that match your personality. So I might tell you, hey, from what you told me, or if you sit down with one of my reps with that company, if you don't seem to match what you're doing, we might just, we will come right out and tell you, because you may not be suited to be successful with that business. I'm the same way. I'm not suited to be successful with certain businesses, so I don't want you to take that personal. All right, so that link will be below this video. I'll include it. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different. And you can see my 8-point validation process, my two-phase settlement process. That's the way that we're going to repair your credit and improve your scores. It's not an overnight type thing. No credit sweeps, none of that stuff. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website yourorder3scores.com. The link is below this video. Make sure if you have debt collectors coming after you, grab my 3-pack of letters. I do ask for a donation, and I think that it would be worthy to get a donation with that. When you fill out the form, it'll take you to a donation page, but you don't have to make a donation. But these letters can literally save you thousands, hundreds or thousands of dollars. You use them over and over if you got debt collections coming after you. I think that would be worth it. That's one way that I monetize the channel, because they don't, it's not, my videos aren't being shown as much as I believe that they should be, but that's another thing. It doesn't matter, because if you're watching it, that's what's important. The other thing below this video, the link, if you have a business or looking at starting a business, we can help you with that also. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, President, founder of thecreditrepairshop.com. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel.